Today's video, how the left eats its own. You create these little viruses, and then you do gain of function research, and then you release it into the world and are surprised when the disease afflicts you. Let me introduce you to Dean of Law at UC Berkeley, Erwin Chemerinsky. And I want to pose to you his social justice bona fides. Here he discusses the hiring practices that he employs at UC Berkeley.
What I mean by unstated affirmative action is, what if the college or university doesn't tell anybody, doesn't make any public statements, but still wants to? I'll give you an example from our law school, but if ever I'm deposed, I'm going to deny I said this to you. When we do faculty hiring, we're quite conscious that diversity is important to us. And we say diversity is important, it's fine to say that. But I'm very careful when we have a faculty appointments committee meeting. Anytime somebody says, we should really prefer this candidate over this candidate because this person would add diversity, don't say that. You can think it, you can vote it, but our discussions are not privileged, so don't ever articulate that that's what you're doing.
Now we've demonstrated his social justice bona fides. Let's take a look at how his students have treated him post-October 7th. Look at this very anti-Semitic cartoon that they created to denigrate him, to turn the public consciousness against him as they intended. So what does he do? He decides to hold a dinner party at his house, and he invites students. And let's take a look at what happens with one of his Palestinian woke students that he and his ilk no doubt inculcated these values into.
Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings upon you all. Tonight we are gathered here in the name of commemorating our final few weeks as law students.
This is my house.
Tonight is also the last night of the holy month of Ramadan, where millions of Muslims around the world fast. Not only from material sustenance, fast not only from material sustenance, fast. We have attorneys. We have attorneys.
Okay, you don't have to get
Excuse me.
Please leave our house. You are guests at our house.
This is our First Amendment right.
No,
this is our First
this is my
Amendment.
house.
It is. The National Lawyers Guild has informed us this is our First Amendment right, and they are aware of this. They're not wrong.
This is my house.
This is my house, and you're no longer welcome here.
Police. You are not welcome.
Okay, you can call the police.
No, I don't.
You can call the police. I'm getting a speech.
Please stop touching her. Just please leave. If you don't want to be here, leave my house.
On the blood of Palestinian people. The UC has committed sending $2 billion to weapons manufacturers. I know, and we're just giving a speech about Ramadan and the holy month. If you can grab me the mic back, I will leave.
Good. Okay.
But will you please give me the mic? Please, will you give me the mic
leave.
back? Let me turn it off.
Please turn it off. And
I'll
please
turn
leave
it
my
off.
house. You're not a guest. You're a guest in my house.
I know, but 40,000 people are dying.
Incredibly rude of
break
you
your fast
to
on the
abuse
blood
our
of Palestinian
hospitality
people
in this way.
And join us in walking out.
There's a genocide going on. There's a genocide.
Then don't
you
come
haven't
here.
You haven't done anything about divestment.
Please leave
you
my
have not
house.
done anything about divestment.
I don't invest in anything. I'm not going to argue with you. This is a party.
On American
Anything.
Islamic Relations, SF will be hearing how you pulled a Muslim woman's scarf during Ramadan. Putting your hands on my hijab is unacceptable. By grabbing my arm, you will hear from Karasaf. You will hear from Paralegal. And the fact that your wife was able to assault a Muslim Palestinian hijabi student is not great.
Please leave our house. Please leave our house now.
We are leaving.
Could you imagine going to somebody's dinner party and behaving in this manner, making a political spectacle out of it? Of course you can, because this is what happens in America today. The whole point is to make yourself piously known to the world and to exemplify your social justice consciousness and earn the virtue points of having done so. Now let's take a look at what this wokey stated about the incident and how she completely lies about it.
Not an inappropriate time to talk about Palestine. There is a genocide going on. It is our collective responsibility to insert Palestine any and everywhere, whether it be in the workspace or our schools or even dinners. I said that and I started to talk about Ramadan when Professor Catherine Fisk, as you can tell from the video, came from where she was sitting on the upper tier of the courtyard and came down where I was standing on the steps and put her arms around me. She put her arms around me, grasped at my hijab, grasped at my breasts inappropriately, kept trying to grope my shirt, grabbed my phone and dragged me up the steps, grabbed my microphone and dragged me up the steps, and threatened to call the cops on a gathering of majority Black and brown students. Professor Fisk did not assault me because I was talking about Palestine. I didn't even get the chance to talk about Palestine. She assaulted me because to her, a hijabi-wearing, kufiyya-repping Palestinian Muslim student that felt comfortable to speak in Arabic was enough of a threat to her that I was justified to be assaulted. It was the classic thing that Palestinian lives are constructed to be seen as allowed to be harmed, to be killed, and to be slaughtered, while white ones are allowed to live. Professor Fisk embodied the Islamophobia, the deep anti-Arab racism, and the deep anti-Palestinian sentiment that the Zionist administrations are built on. I have never in my life felt so traumatized and humiliated and been grabbed in that way in public. To that I say, any lawyer can tell you what Professor Fisk did was clear assault and battery. In fact, if I had chosen to act out, it would have been justified. It would be my legal right to have done and acted out in self-defense. But I knew that a white woman that was so perfect at acting like a victim would have spun the narrative to demonize me and point me as aggressive.
Yes, she was put into a chokehold, was she? Is that what you saw from the video? And yes, she would have been well within her rights to respond violently, as she no doubt harbors in her heart. But she realizes, of course, that maybe she won't get those same number of social justice points that she is chasing. Thus, she only threatens what will happen to the Jewish professors in the future, those who were against everything that she states. And she goes on later and says that she wants them to be fired, of course, and deservedly so, considering the opening salvo that he gave about how he completely disregards the law and his hiring, and how he wants social justice and racial equity. This is a man who has hosted Kimberly Crenshaw and other critical race theorists on his own podcast. And here he is being eaten by the very virus that they created. The gain of function research that they have done with wokies and the young and metastasize this cancer is now afflicting them. And they're surprised. Now, personally, I believe that this student absolutely should be expelled from the university. She is absolutely libelous, lying about the situation that was caught on camera, is completely disingenuous, and went to the party with the intention of creating a spectacle, and then did not leave according to law. When you are disinvited from somebody's private property, you must leave. And furthermore, they are able to use whatever means physically necessary to get you to comply with their order. You do not get to be there, and yet this is somebody at Berkeley Law. This is what we are creating. The new advocates of the legal system that are going to completely upend the justice system in the United States, which is about formally as blind as it could have been. You are already seeing it in the weaponized justice system going after Trump supporters while leaving Antifa and those on the left at home. Giving 1 year, for example, to lawyers that threw Molotov cocktails into the police cars in New York City because they were on the right side of racial justice, but giving 22 years to Enrique Tarrio over the January 6th riots when he wasn't even there, giving Joe Biggs 17 years for entering into the Capitol and knocking over a barrier. This is just one of numerous examples of the weaponized law system that such students will bring. And so you see how this disease, this virus, has been inculcated by the very same professor that it is now afflicting. So one has to look at the bright side of the situation and see somebody getting their just desserts. You created the disease. It would like Anthony Fauci being afflicted with the Wuhan virus, with COVID-19, which he likely helped fund the gain of function research on, and then tried to cover it up, having done so. But these professors, it's way out into the open what they've done, what they've accomplished. So what is to be done? Well, we have got to change the educational system. We cannot allow these teachers to be teaching our students. And I mean from the youngest levels, the Marxist inculcation of the teachers union. This is why they are against school choice. This is being done intentionally to America. You are changing the values. You are doing gain of function research in terms of the wokies that you are creating at a very young age, and then they are seeing that cancer metastasize into society. And we have to be able to upend the teachers unions. We have to teach different values, the 1776 Project. You can teach America's ills as well as everything that we've done that has been beneficial for the world, which is substantial. And this is what people don't understand. Even if America is not perfect, we are way better historically than any other country on earth. After World War II, America could have had any country that they wanted. They could have just taken it over, say, we own you, made you a satellite state of America, but we did not. We built up Germany and Japan, trying to avoid prior conflicts, errors, like the Treaty of Versailles after World War I, that put Germany, a heavy price on Germany that they had to repay. My point being that America has done tremendously good things, but according to professors like this, yeah, he's a free speech expert, something that I did not mention before, but he still believes that America is evil, which is why he wants DEI, which is why he's an activist, which is why essentially he's likely a Marxist, along with his wife, who is being accused by this woman of putting her in a chokehold. I don't know. I don't think there's the end of the world here, because you are seeing the creation of this, once again, cancer, this gain of function research, this virus that is spreading through society, and there has to be a reaction against it. You cannot allow these people to continue to get their way, and the student must be expelled. We must change the teaching standards that we have here in America, and we must come back to some semblance of sanity where such behavior is frowned upon rather than getting thumbs up and brownie points throughout the social justice circles of America that were led by this unsympathetic professor by the name of Erwin Chemerinsky. I applaud what has taken place as long as we learn from it and we don't continue to do this gain of function research.